Hello, thank you for joining the Global Connect webinar for this installment of our new product training series. I'm Rusty Keller, the Director of Marketing at Global Cache. I'll start the webinar off with a quick recorded video from February at ISE in Amsterdam with Robin Ford, our VP of Business Development. Note that we have had some problems with the video, with people being able to see it or not hear it. We do have a link from our website, the front page, that has the same video, as well as another one with our CEO, if you're interested, at www.globalcache.com. After the video, I'll share a brief company and product overview before handing the training over to Garrett Gustafson, one of our development engineers, for the real meat and potatoes. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself at the end of the presentation or use the text chat dialog to send a message.
Hey, this is Matt for AviNation.tv. We are here in the Global Cache booth at ISE 2019 in lovely Amsterdam. I'm here with Robin. Robin, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today.
Of course.
For anyone who does not know who Global Cache is, again, that would surprise me, but if there is somebody out there who doesn't, tell us a little bit about the history of the company and really what it is that you do.
Okay, and why we do it. So essentially about, 20 years ago or so, the founder of this company, the co-founder of this company, and I took our previous company public. And when we did that, we built a big house in San Jose, and because we've been in high tech all our lives, we thought we'd just automate it. It would be very easy to do that. And what we found that was available at the time was ridiculous. Very, very high-end proprietary systems. It was crazy. So we thought, wow, we could probably go down to Fry's or something and buy some equipment and cobble it together and do the same thing for maybe 10,000, 15,000. We put that in the back of our minds, and then when we left our company we decided we were going to do another one. What were we going to do? We said, let's do the home automation thing. And that's really led us to automation, commercial automation, as well as residential.
Very good. So let's talk a little bit about what products you're showing at the booth, what's new and exciting.
Okay. So when we first started, we made an assumption based on our experience in Silicon Valley that when automation really took off and control, it would be based on Wi-Fi and IP. That was just an assumption we made. And we're happy to see that that has come to fruition, really. Everywhere you look at the show, it's AV over IP, it's something over IP. At the time we started the company, most of this industry didn't even know how to spell IP. So essentially we started it with small pieces of product. This is an ITouch. This is Wi-Fi. It connects IR, and then we have other versions that connect serial and relay, contact closure, and also sensor input. And 17 years in the business, we've done several different versions. The newest product we're really excited about because it's basically evolved from everything we've learned in this industry about what installers want.
Okay.
The new product is called Global Connect, and it comes in various sizes of closure. Okay. So this is a 19-inch enclosure rack mount down to 4.5 inches, much smaller. And what we've done, we've added beyond the IR serial contact closure connections, we've added a 3-to-1 HDMI switch. Okay. And we've also added something that's really exciting because we've added a Raspberry Pi option. Now, all of these are options. You can build anything you want. You get all RS232 or one IR and the rest contact closure. Doesn't matter, and any size.
So why would you put a Raspberry Pi on it?
So the Raspberry Pi, it's interesting because we're very big in partnering. And we have so many software partners, different kinds. Some that run on their own hardware, some that you run on a smartphone or a tablet. Some are in the cloud, but they all would like to have some sort of system where there's an always-on part to the control. So imagine if you have cloud-based, which does all the analytics, it's all awesome, but do you really want to send all that information over the network all the way up to the cloud that you're raising the volume of your TV, for instance? So you always know the state of the equipment is in by AlwaysOn. So it's really for a couple of reasons. One is our software partners can really use it.
Right.
We announced one of our partners that their software is shipping with this, and we'll have many, many more to back that up. It's also for integrators who have their own programmers, who would like to develop their own control software, that kind of thing. Another really exciting thing is because it adds intelligence to the product, now you can add skills or software to the Pi, which will interface with Alexa. So you can walk into your conference room and say, "Hi, I'm here," or whatever your little words are that trigger things,
right? And
the whole thing is set up for you. So there's just so much you can do with it, and it's really, I want to stress, it's really not a controller, because we work with other people who provide the control and automation, whether it's in the cloud, whether it's on a Pi, whether it's on a phone, and then we provide the way to connect everything.
Very good. So if somebody wants to find out more information about the company, about the products, and where they can, of course, purchase them, where do they go to find that?
Okay. So we sell through distribution to the integrator channel. We also sell to value-added resellers, and we private label for people. And they can find out all of that information off of our website at www.globalcache.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. For more coverage from ISE 2019.
Okay, so who is Global Cache? I'm assuming that some of you are already familiar with our company and some are not. We were founded in 2002. Our mission statement, our business statement is we are based on open systems. We are a partnering company because of that, and we are well known for connecting any device to an IP network for control. Because our APIs are published, I'll go into this a little bit more, and then Garrett will go into it in depth. We have established a huge partnering network, and we connect to just about anybody and vice versa. We have over 1 million units installed in the field. I need to do an audit. I believe that number is quite a bit higher now, since we've been in business so long and we have the new product line. We have established global partnerships and global distribution. We are a 50-50 company domestically and internationally. Let's see. As I mentioned, and as Robin mentioned in the video, we are a big partnering company. We try to support our partnerships in, excuse me, in a number of ways. Referrals off our website, we share our literature for custom branding or for distribution. We make images available for distributors and for partners to use on their website. We are one of our biggest, most popular handouts at all the events that we do is the partner handout that I do for every show that lists partners that we have at the show and the location of their booths as well as logos. And it also gives a list of software partners. We get a lot of questions regarding what control apps are out there. So if you are one, please go to our website and fill out the control app information form and send that to us. Our new part of our partnering program is training. We are doing these bi-monthly and monthly training webinars on Global Connect, but we also have some on our other product lines that are available if you just send an email to training@globalcache.com and let us know that your organization is interested in a custom or a individual webinar. We can definitely put that together. Another thing that we do with our partners is we work with the press in our industry, such as CE Pro, to put integrator stories out there that use our products. And if you have any of those, please feel free to send those to me at rusty.keller@globalcache.com. Where do I buy products? Well, we have a very well-established channel, distribution channel. And in the US, you can buy through Home Controls, Avid, who was recently purchased by Blue Wave, Simco, Sterling, BTX, Stampede, Product Solutions Group, Worthington. We have a number of distributors on our website. Internationally, AV distributors, AVT, Comtech, Avix, Wintop, Benutech, Mounttech. Again, there's a list on our website, or feel free to contact sales at Global Cache if you are looking for a distributor. And if you are a distributor, you can always send an email to partners@globalcache.com and inquire. There's also a form on our website. We also sell through value-added resellers, and value-added resellers bundle our products with theirs for a packaged solution. We have a very turnkey, slick OEM program. So if you're a manufacturer or a software vendor looking to create your own solution with your brand, we can do that with our products. Again, you would contact me for that. Global Connect. So I'll talk a little bit about Global Connect and the different elements of the product, and then I'm going to talk a bit about the benefits of our product, and then I'll turn it over to Garrett, and he'll get into the products on a much more technical, much deeper level. But basically, Global Connect is comprised of 3 elements. The first element is the chassis, and the chassis comes in 7 different sizes. Within the chassis, there are a number of slots, and those slots are populated by modules, and modules can take up 1, 2, and 3 slots. We have all of our usual suspects: RS232, serial IR, contact closure, relay, but we've added a few additional options, and again, Garrett will get into this, and that is we have an HDMI 3-to-1 switch, as well as a Raspberry Pi option, which Robin discussed, and a double network switch. Okay, so why Global Connect? Why Global Cache products over, say, anything that's out there in the market? And there are a number of reasons why you would go with this. A big one is lower cost. If you save money, you make more money. That's obviously important to integrators. But also, it helps you win the bid if you're charging less and still are able to make money on your installs. Another thing is that our products are completely customizable. If you want a 19-inch rack mount with a Raspberry Pi and all serial, we can do that. With other products out there, I don't believe that the customizable aspect is even an option. You get what you get. Another thing is we are agnostic on the front end and the back end. We are able to do this through our open published APIs. We prefer to work with everyone. We consider just about everybody a partner. Our products are scalable. You can use this as, you need to fix a hole in the install you have. We can be used as digital duct tape. But we are also used as in much bigger installations: huddle rooms, hotels, stadiums, sports bar, boardrooms. We were part of the $26.6 million renovation at Everbank Field, the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, in, I believe, over 300 part of their display and digital signage installation. We are future-proof. We are backwards and forwards compatible. So if you're using us already, no worries. You'll be able to use the new product line also. We are ridiculously easy to install and set up. We integrate with our control tower. Garrett will talk a little bit more about control tower, but essentially it's a amazingly rich IR database in the cloud, and it's free. So I'm going to pass this over to Garrett. And again, if you have any questions, please text us or unmute yourself at the end. We really would love your feedback on this. This is a new program for us. As you can tell, I'm a little rusty on the delivery, but hopefully that'll get better. And if we leave anything out, we would like to hear from you at training@globalcache.com. Garrett?
Thanks, Rusty. And thank you, everyone that's joined us here today. So what I'm going to do is start out here. I'm going to go over the APIs, which is basically how you would talk with our device. I'm going to touch on some of the software that you can use our device with. And I'll briefly go over our previous products. The primary focus of this is the Global Connect, but I'll do a little review for some and a little intro for others if you haven't seen the previous products. And then I'll go over some of the tools we have for installers and integrators to be able to use for our devices. And then I'll get into the Global Connect and we'll go over exactly what we have new there to offer you guys. So one of the things that makes us completely unique is that we don't have our own control software. And so because we don't have our own control software, we have published all of our APIs. And what that allows programmers and driver writers to do is to write drivers for our devices that'll work with all sorts of different control software that's out there. And so all of our products have a TCP API, which is basically just a telnet connection that you would make and send string commands. We've intentionally made it as simple as possible to make integration with our devices as simple as possible. A lot of times people will use these APIs to write drivers for our devices, but if there isn't a driver for your control software choice, a lot of times you can just pull up that API. You want to send a relay, the command to close a relay, you can send that without too much trouble and without even, depending on how simple the control software is there, sometimes you don't even need to be a programmer to do that. We've also added an HTTP RESTful API for our Flex and Global Connect products. That's more of what you kind of consider like a web-based API, so a lot of web-based things will take advantage of that. But either API can be used with those products there. They're parallel APIs there, so they both can do full control of the units. So this is a small list of some of the control software that you can use with our products. And it's important to note that some of these are official partners and some of them are not, but you can use our products with them nonetheless. For example, QSC recently released a complete driver package for all of our products. They're one of our official partners, and we're really excited about that new driver package they just released. But we also have control software providers like Crestron that aren't registered as an official partner of ours, but we still have people use our products with them all the time. And typically the way that people will do that is they'll either just be issuing those TCP APIs API commands directly, either IR codes or turning on and off relays. Just we've made those APIs simple to make this possible. Or they'll use we have a Crestron template on our website that can kind of help with that as well. So it's kind of important to note that whether there's an official driver or not, a lot of times you can still use our products with those control softwares. So where we started is with the GC100 product family. And with this, we added basically IP control of serial devices. You can see on the left there, there's an RS232 DV9 port. We also added relays. There's 3 relays on that unit there and 6 IR ports for IR output. So the GC100 allows you to do all of that over the network. The next product line we went to here is the ITouch product line. And with the ITouch product line, we did a couple things differently. One, we brought it down to a single type of control per unit. So we went with a relay unit, an IR unit, and RS232 serial unit. And so that allows you to put those devices typically out with whatever device you're going to try to control, and not have to have them as much in a centralized location. We also added the ability to have a Wi-Fi option. And we also added the ability, there's an Ethernet version, and there's also an Ethernet with PoE version, so you can do PoE powered of those PoE versions there. Our next product line here is the Flex, and the Flex is so called because it's flexible. It's a cable-based product, so instead of being set to one type of control there, you would get a base unit. The base unit would be either Ethernet, Ethernet with PoE, or Ethernet with, or Wi-Fi. And you would use, you would select the cable you need to do the type of control you need. So, for example, on the bottom left there, there's an RS232 cable there, so you can plug that into your Flex, and that would allow you to do RS232 control. It comes in that form factor, the 3.5 millimeter jack form factor, which plugs into things like Samsung or LG TV service ports. That's a really common application we see. But you can also get a version of that cable that comes in the standard DV9 as well. We also have things like IR control there. That's that middle one there is a 3 independent IR output cable. We also have pre-molded ones there that have either 3 emitters or 2 emitters and 1 blaster. And then we also have on the right there a relay sensor cable, which does 4 relay outputs, 4 sensor inputs. And we also have a couple other different cables. For example, we have an RS45 cable. So you can basically get what type of cable you need to connect whatever device you want up to the network there. So as we kind of touched on before, we don't have our own control software, but we do have a set of utilities. And what these utilities are here for is they're meant as basically a digital toolbox for installers. So iHelp, for example, is the most commonly used utility. And what that does is it'll detect the units on the network and tell you what IP address they have, which is important because all of our products are DHCP by default. So there'll be assigned an IP address by your DHCP server there. And so this will let you find out what IP address those got assigned to. iHelp will also let you update the devices. So if there's a firmware update or a web page update there, they can be pushed there from iHelp. We also have iTest, which is the bottom left picture there. And what iTest does is allows you to connect up to the TCP API on the unit. And what you can do with this is basically test the unit to see what's working, what's not. And so what we commonly see this used with is, for example, if you're an installer and you've or an integrator and you've set up your control software to send, for example, an IR code, and you're trying to send it from your control software and it's not working, what you can do is you could then take that IR code, send it through iTest, and you can either see, okay, now it's working, I know, or it's working through iTest, I know that something's wrong with the control software. Or maybe you see that the emitter blanks, but the code doesn't, no action is performed, and maybe, for example, we have the wrong code set for the device. So it's a really valuable tool there to kind of figure out what's wrong if something is, if something does go wrong with your install there. We also have utility iLearn, and that can be used with the built-in learners that are in our ITouch Flex, and Global Connect units. And that can learn basically IR codes directly from the remote. And then we have iConvert, which will allow you to convert IR codes between different formats. So if you have IR codes from a previous install, or if you have IR codes from a third-party database, you can convert them to whatever format you need for your control software of choice. And as Rusty mentioned, we also have Control Tower. And Control Tower is an IR database in the cloud. You can go on and register with your email, and you can get 5 code sets sent to your email per day. And that just makes getting IR codes really easy. The database is constantly being updated, so we're always adding in new devices there. We also have, in addition to the end user access, we also have the ability for our partners to get API access to the database. And so what that allows them to do is to basically bring that IR code selection right into their software, which can make it really simple for integrators to set up there. So with the Global Connect, what we've tried to do is take all the things that we think work really well with our products and put it together into one unit here. So what we've done, or we've come up with, is a modular product. So if you look on those pictures there, every black vertical bar separates a module. And each of those modules has its own IP address. And what that allows us to do is a couple different things. One is that it allows us to have really great backwards compatibility with all of our previous product lines. So if you have any driver that works with one of our products and that has that same functionality on a Global Connect module, you'll be able to basically use the Global Connect as a drop-in replacement there. So for example, if you have a bunch of serial modules in your Global Connect, And you have an ITouch driver for a serial unit. You can use that ITouch driver with the Global Connect modules. So the unique IP address there per module really helps with that. It also allows us to basically follow the IoT model where you have one IP address per device you're controlling, which is just kind of an organizational model that's become rather popular. So one of the things that's really interesting about the Global Connect is the modularity of it. And with the modularity, we can make all sorts of different combinations. So you can get pretty much exactly what you need there for any given install. So with this modularity, we have to know what constraints are there. How do we build a unit? So the units come in several different chassis sizes. We have 19-inch rack mounts. We also have 15-inch, which is a 10 slot, 10.5 inches to a 7 slot, 7.5 inch, 6 inch, and 4.5 inches, which are 5, 4, and 3 slot freestanding units as well. And each slot is defined as 1.5 inches in that chassis. So we have an enclosure size that's broken into 1.5 inch slots, and then we have various modules that take up either 1, 2, or 3 slots. So if you get a 15-inch 10-slot enclosure, you can fill it with up to 10 single slot modules, or you could have a combination of single slot, dual slot, and 3 slot modules there. So you make all sorts of different units with that. So the first module I'm going to talk about here is the Ethernet module. So we have 2 different versions of this. This module is pretty basic, and it just basically provides the network connectivity to the unit. And sorry, just see if there's a. Okay, there's this question here. I'll just address this here. So the question is, do you mean rack units? And we do have, so if we go back on that slide there, we have a rack mount unit that you can see on the bottom right there, those 2 bottom rack mount ones. But we also have freestanding ones, so you can have them outside the rack as well. So with the Ethernet module, it provides Ethernet for the unit, so that single module will provide network connectivity for all the modules in the unit. It also provides power for all of them. So we have either that option of the single IP, the single Ethernet there, which is just Ethernet or power. We also have this dual slot or dual Ethernet module on the right here. And what this allows for is 2 different things. One, you have 2 Ethernet ports now, so you can daisy chain units. So that can either be done in the rack, so you're not running as many wires. You can just daisy chain them up the rack there, or you could also have a unit, maybe for example, a freestanding unit out by your TV, and you run one Ethernet cable out to your TV. It does all your maybe IR control, and then you have another Ethernet port from there that just runs to the TV, so you only have to run one Ethernet wire out there. The double port Ethernet module also has one other feature, which is that it's able to be powered via PoE. So that right Ethernet port there can take PoE in, or you can also power it via the barrel jack with the included power supply as well. So the first control module I'm going to talk about here is our IR module. And so the IR module has 3 independent IR outputs. The unit you're seeing up above there is a single IP. It's 3 slots, so it's a 4.5 inch unit there with a single IP module and 2 IR modules. And so those 3 IR outputs there, we can run 3 emitters out of that, or we can run emitters on the first 2, and you have the choice of putting a blaster on the port 3, which the blaster is just a long range IR transmitter, so you can go up to 35 feet with that. We also have the ability to use our GC sensor cables with those IR inputs, or with those IR ports there. And what those GC sensor cables do is allow you to do things like sense the presence of contact closure or the presence of voltage. So you can use the IR module for sensor input as well, just by using those GC sensor cables. So what can you do with IR? Well, so IR is used in most commonly in the AV devices, so all the things you're kind of used to using, like TVs, DVD players, etc. Almost always have an IR remote. But we also see things other areas where IR is also used, which is maybe a little bit less common or something you hadn't thought about. For example, the AC units can be used with IR commands a lot of times. You can also do things like blinds. We've also seen people use them for camera controls as well, IP-based cameras that they can be controlled over IR or directed over IR. The next control module I'm going to talk about here is the RS232 port. And the RS232 port here is it's a serial protocol you're probably all familiar with here, and it comes on the DB9 form factor. So we provide the full 300 baud to 115.2K baud, which is basically the only, the whole baud rate range you're going to see out in the field. We also have full serial on that DB9 there, so that includes things like CTS and RTS signals, which are the hardware flow control signals. So you're, whatever you're going to be connecting up to with that serial port there, you're going to have all the signals there to control it. And it is bidirectional with both the APIs. So what can you do with RS232? Well, RS232 is it's a very old protocol, and one of the reasons it's stuck around so long is because it's very inexpensive for manufacturers to add it to their devices. And what that means is you'll find it on all sorts of different things. So we've seen things from security panels, a lot of times of RS232 inputs. We also see it on TVs, like Samsung and LG have service ports that use RS232. It's basically, it can show up in anything that has any inkling of intelligence there has has the ability or has the possibility that it'll have an RS232 port. So it's a really versatile tool that you can use to control all sorts of different things there. The next module we have here is our relay module. The relay module on the Global Connect has 6 independent relays there. They're all single pole, single throw relays. They're also, we've increased these to power relays there. So they can do 277 volts AC or 30 volts DC, and that's at 3 amps. So what you can do with that is all sorts of things, basically. You can basically turn anything on and off with it there that has a relatively low power consumption. So you can do things like lights, you can do things like fans, small motors. You can also use them in a lot of the places that you would normally use signal relays as well. So if you have a garage door controller that has a contact closure input, you can use that there as well, or a gate controller. So you can use it for all the things you do signal relays, but you can also use them to turn things on and off as well that consume power. So this is our HDMI switching module, and the HDMI switching module is a new type of control for us, so we're really excited about that. And what we've offered here is it's a 3 input, 1 output UHD 4K capable switch, so you can control the switching over the network. You can also inject CEC with this as well. So CEC is an ability, or is a communication protocol for HDMI devices that is basically, if you've ever put in a DVD in your DVD player and your TV automatically turns on and switches the input, that's CEC usually in the background there that's causing that to happen. So what we allow is for the injection of CEC commands, so you can send those commands that are normally sent between HDMI devices to actually do control with it. And because it is a CEC bus there, you can control any device that's hooked up to the TV with that CEC injection. So it can be really powerful to do things that you might normally do with IR, or you can also do things that aren't typically available on like IR remotes. Like, for example, some displays support things like text on screen over CEC. So a lot of opportunity there for some unique control aspects. And then this is our Raspberry Pi module. And the Raspberry Pi module is, it's an optional module. It's not something that's required by any of our devices by any means. But what it provides is basically a computing platform for control software to run on. And so we don't provide our own control software, but we have partners that do. And this is a really great tool for them because they can then provide a Raspberry Pi image and you can run their control software right on our hardware there. And it becomes basically the full package. So we have control partner, Catch Connect, that is currently providing a Raspberry Pi image, so that'll ship on the Raspberry Pi, and we'll be adding more as more become available. With theirs, for example, you can do things like ITouch, Amazon Alexa integration with our devices. You can also do control of our devices over the web. So all sorts of different things there with that. And there really is a lot of opportunity for any of your favorite control software there can a lot of times be able to put some of their functionality on there. So we're excited for what comes in the future as well. So to kind of put it together here, this is an example of a fully rack-mounted unit here that has an HDMI module, two IR modules, 3 RS232 modules, and a relay module. And that's one of the really powerful things about the Global Connect is because of the modularity and because of the control types we've provided here. You can basically choose all the modules you need to get whatever you need that's not on the network that you want to be add to the network onto the network there, and get it in a form factor that makes sense for you. So what can we do with Global Connect? Well, because we have such versatile types of control, you can do all sorts of different things. So, for example, things like boardrooms where you have displays, lighting, for example, you can do all that with Global Connect or our other products. We also see we have some partners that do really well in campus automation with their control software. And Global Connect is perfectly suited for those types of things. We have things like lifts, for example, you might be using your relays with. You could be controlling the IR or the projector with serial or with your blaster. You could also be doing the HDMI switching in the desk there to choose between the different display sources that are typically in campus rooms. We can also do normal things like home theaters there. Lots of AV devices are controlled with IR and serial. And we can also scale that technology because Global Connect is one. We have a large range of enclosure sizes, but also because we're on the network, you can just add more devices as you need more things to control. Global Connect is also really good at controlling a bunch of one thing because we can add, for example, a 10-slot enclosure, you could have 9 IR modules with 27 independent IR ports. And then we can do things like gates and garage doors with those relays as well. And these are just some of the places that we've had some of our previous products installed in, just some kind of interesting use cases. And with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Rusty, and we'll open up the chat box here and see what questions we have here pending for us. Peter asked here, do you sense light as well? We do not have a light sensor. We do have the ability to sense, for example, like the presence of a voltage. So if you had a third-party light sensor that output a voltage, you could quite probably hook that up to that voltage sensor there to do that. But we don't have one that specifically senses light.
Thank you, Garrett. So if anybody has any more questions, now would be the time to ask them. Okay. Well, if you do have any feedback, again, training@globalcache.com. My direct email is rusty.keller@globalcache.com if you have integrator stories or want to discuss possible partnerships. And our website is globalcache.com, and I've listed the actual Global Connect directory there, and there's some links to other trainings, data sheets, images, and other information. So if there aren't any more questions, I think we'll say goodbye and thank you. Oh wait, one more. What are the list prices for these items? I don't have the list price in front of me, but I can tell you it's you can average it out by modules. And Steve, if you send me an email, I will send that back to you. I'm not trying to be sketchy. I don't have the actual list price in front of me. So go ahead and send me an email and I will respond. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody.